There are some big money plays that happened in October, so let's dive into it. This is your 2025 Sedona market update for November. So without further ado, let's just dive right into the details and I'll tell you what happened. All right, let's kick things off with the number of homes sold. Just to preface this video, there was a merger between Sedona Verde Valley Association of Realtors, MLS, and the Arizona Regional MLS based out of Phoenix. So our data for July, August, and September is not 100% accurate. I believe it's close enough for us to be within the trend lines, but it's not 100% accurate, so I put the preface on that. No October's numbers though. All of the data has been merged into the Arizona Regional MLS, so these numbers should be a lot more accurate. I wouldn't say 100%, but I'd say we're getting close to the 95 percentile on that, and moving forward, we should have clean numbers from Armlist. So let's dive on into the number of homes sold. So in October, we had a tick up on home sales to 52, which the month prior we were at 34. Again, data from July, August, September may not be 100% accurate. I think we actually had a little bit more home sales, but the overlap between the two, I did do my best to comb through the data on both of those for September to get as accurate of number as possible. It came out to 34. October, we're saying 52. So those of you who watch this video, if you're buyers, you listen to me in my last couple market updates, it was predicted that we were going to have a little bit of a feeding frenzy from buyers there. And we did. We were up in October to 52 home sales. So that is up from last month and up from the last year as well. That's the most sales in October in the last 4 years. Trends are typically down moving forward from here. So October into November is going to be a trend down. My prediction, I think we will go down a little bit. But I still think we're going to be over last year and over 23 and 22. So expect this trend line here to maybe flatten out a bit. I don't think we're going to climb from 52. I think we'll drop a little bit from 52. Yeah, let's move on. This is the homes just listed that just went on the market. It was 119 in October. I still think this data might be a little bit skewed. Look how far off we are from the trend. I mean, at this point, 119 is a record for the last 6 years of data. I think this number is reflected on the number of listings that were still getting merged from Sedona Verde Valley MLS into the Arizona Regional MLS. So I do think that because of the merger, we had some overlap there. Might not necessarily be new listings, but they were new into the Arizona Regional MLS. So we're just going to keep an eye on that. Again, this data, I don't think this is accurate, 119. I think that we were probably closer to this range here. So I still think we're up from years prior, but not to the 119 mark. So we're just going to kind of put a big fat asterisk on this data. There would be 38 more homes listed compared to last year. Again, I don't think that's realistic, and as we dive into the data, the supply data here in a minute, I will show you why I don't think that's realistic. Listed minus sold, so taking that listing number into consideration still, even though I don't think it's an accurate number, that gives us 67, so the number of homes listed minus the number of homes sold, which is a pretty good surplus for Sedona. So typically we like to see it within this green box here. So that's going to be plus or minus 30 homes a month from deviating from what's sold. So listed is either more or less than 30 per month. That's a pretty safe number for us to fall in. 67 seems pretty high. Again, back to what I just said about that being an anomaly. They would say that we're in a surplus, but our overall listing inventory is not showing that. So let's talk about that. Homes for sale. So we're at 249. According to the Arizona Regional MLS. I have not taken the Sedona Verde Valley MLS into consideration anymore. Again, there's a backstory on that. If you have any questions on it, let me know. We can dive deeper into that data. But I believe here, October moving forward, our homes for sale data for Sedona is going to be accurate, the most accurate, pulling it from Armlist, or we call it Armlist, Arizona Regional MLS. Get it? Acronym, Armlist. I'd pull my arms in my shirt, but it'd take too long. So anyways, 249 trending up from September's number. Again, I think that's due to houses being added. But if we were really at 119 listings added and a big surplus of 60 something homes, this number would be closer to this 316 mark from last year. And I did verify that. That is the data from last year from Sedona Verde Valley MLS. So 316 was the most we've seen in the last 6 years, and we are down from that. So good news for buyers. You know, we do have a number of homes to choose from, but not as many to choose from as last year. So how does this translate into supply, and tell us what kind of market we're in? According to ARMList, or Arizona Regional MLS, we are at 5.2 months of supply right now. We want to be within this green box. So the economists out there and the experts on this say that anywhere between 4 and 6 months of supply in the market is a balanced market. You know, just in general as a whole, you have micro markets within markets, so micro markets within specific price ranges, or even in specific geographical areas, so like a neighborhood or a subdivision as an example, or a master plan community. We can cut all those out and I can give you specific data on those. But Sedona as a whole, 5.2 months of supply, which is good. We want to see it at 5. That means we're in a healthy market. We're balanced. We've got enough homes on the market for the buyers that are out there that want them, but we don't have too many to where you've got, well, I don't want to say you don't have disgruntled sellers who aren't selling their homes, because those out there who are unrealistic on their price and pricing significantly over estimated market value are going to get disgruntled because their houses aren't going to sell. That's a topic for another day. Let's talk about now. 5.2 months of supply. That's good. That's where we want to see it. I hope that data is correct, because that's taking into consideration the number of homes sold in October. And you take the number of homes available divided by the number of homes sold, and then that gives you your month of supply. Moving forward on that, before we do, real quick, if I'm going too fast, drop a comment below with a question or reach out to me directly on my contact information. This last video I did was a 20-minute video, so I'm really trying my best to cut these market report videos down to 10 minutes or less. I don't know if we'll hit that today, but I'm doing my best. That's why I'm talking fast and moving fast. Now we're going to get into median sales prices, where the title for this video, Big Money Plays, comes into consideration. So there was a number of people out there that have big money that dropped it in October on new homes, because we saw the median sales price skyrocket. And that's why we pull median, because if there's a couple that sell for 3 to 4 million and you're pulling averages, it can throw your average price off. But no, we are pulling median sales price, and we were at 1.18 million, which beats the record of January 24 of 1.15 million. So that was unexpected. I was expecting buyers to take advantage of the current market conditions over the last couple months, but I wasn't expecting them in that price bracket to really lean in and take advantage. So some people picked up some killer properties in October, driving that median sales price up. That's a 28% bump year over year in the median sales price. My prediction, it's going to fall back down in November. I don't think that's sustainable. To keep it above the $1 million mark, I think we're going to fall back down here. We're at 970 in November of 2024. I think we'll be close to that mark. That's my prediction for next month, is that we'll be back down around that 970 mark. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think that our price point is going to keep climbing for our median sales price? Do you think we're going to level out around the 1.1 mark, or do you think it's going to come back down to reality? October also saw one of the largest discounts I have seen on record for average discount on homes. So this data here is average sales price to average list price. So you're looking at 95.2% is what homes were selling of the price that they were listed for on average, which if you do the math backwards, so subtract that from 100, it gives us 4.8, which means the average discount was 4.8% off of list price. And if we take that and times that by our median sales price of 1.18, that gives us $56,000 was the average discount last month in October. That is huge, folks. So big discounts going on right now in Sedona. If you're thinking about buying, make sure you know this data. Make sure your realtor's aware of this data, because if not, you could be leaving money on the table. Last stat we like to look at is days on market. So how long are houses sitting on the market before they're selling? Last month we were at 92, which is pretty much on par with September. September was at 93. So Yeah, that's good. I like to see that. You know, we're up 10 days from last year. It's a pretty average number for the area to be right around that 90-day mark. I like it. Trends, typically the days on market increases into winter. Well, 24 and 22 increased. 23, we kind of increased October to November and leveled out in December. That's a wrap for our November Sedona market update. Supply data says we're back in a balanced market. I still think we are in a bit of a buyer's market, because if we were in that much of a balanced market, we wouldn't be seeing that drastic of a discount on homes right now. So the data is not quite accurate. I think moving forward, as we're only pulling market data from Arizona Regional MLS, our data will get more accurate over time. So again, it's just a transition phase for us, moving from one MLS to the other. And I still think we're close enough to see the trends. So let me know what you think. My name is Brent Wofford. I'm a licensed real estate agent here in northern central Arizona with Keller Williams Arizona Realty. Please like this video if you found it helpful. Subscribe to my channel to stay up to date on the ever-changing market here in northern Arizona. Thank you for watching, and stay rad.